So I live in the jungle. That's jungle as far as the eye can see. There's a neighbor with a house there, and one neighbor next to that neighbor, and another neighbor next to that neighbor, and then a house across the street. There's a neighbor right there, and then way up there there's about 2 or 3 neighbors, plus one empty house with a sad story from the past residents. Anyway, my yard starts right about where my finger's at, and then it stretches along here. You can see jungle. I'm proud of my jungle. I put that coconut tree. That's the first thing I planted in the yard. Everything else, this straight skinny thing is guava. They grow here wild, naturally. Maybe not endemic or trees that originated here. This tree is related to this. I think these were brought from Asia side or Malaysia side, Indonesia maybe, but yet they're still related to this native tree, ohia. Anyway, this is my driveway. It's all overgrown. I've been gone for 6 months, and this place was abandoned. So I've parked my car here. My car's in good shape. It needs some repair, but it'll handle me being gone another 6 months. The person taking care of it for me doesn't drive it much, and does whatever she can afford. But yeah, this may not look like a driveway. I'm loading up my truck with big loads of laundry and all kinds of junk I need to throw out that's been laying around for the 6 months. Anyway, normally I'd park my car here, right here at the top of the driveway. You can see sugar cane, but this is all grown out. It grows up and falls over, then the side grows up and falls over, and then the side grows up again and falls over, and it causes it to grow in a sideways moving fashion. Anyway, I've got a machine to cut it. I used to go in here and plant. I have plantings here. I've got a bunch of pineapple there, a mango tree there, but of course this is all grown in. I got to cut it back. I used to be able to walk straight through here, but this stuff, these fingers of life just grow. It doesn't take long. This gate has rotted in the rain. It just rains constantly. This is a rainforest. You can see the ferns. My huge native tree. There's another tree. Right in there. That's a native koa, but they don't grow up here where I live. I brought that one from the National Park Service was doing a reforestation project, and they were planting seedlings of native trees. There's a banana there. I got passion fruit growing up there. They call it maracuya in Nicaragua, and lilacoy is what we call it here, and passion fruit. Maracuya is my favorite drink. They make a juice out of this passion fruit juice in Nicaragua. They make it here too, but for some reason the one in Nicaragua is a lot better. And I think I had some in Panama too. I think throughout Central and South America it's really good. My yard goes on and on. This is barely a quarter of the way through. Maybe it's a quarter of the way through. There's an old satellite dish when I used to live here. I haven't lived here in 3 years. I've stopped in twice a year. For the longest time was 2 weeks. Once I stopped in for 4 days. This time I got in last night. I'm here for a week. I have bananas, sugar cane, everything's just overgrown. The yard is full of pineapples, but you can't see anything. It's all overgrown in the jungle. Don't get me wrong, I'm really proud of this jungle. I love my giant trees. They make me feel at home. Oh! One of my bananas is fruiting. but it's not far enough along for me to expect to get any of it. But I've got a bunch. I've got bananas behind. You see my house? It's an unfinished house, but you can see the roof of it. It's all overgrown. All overgrown. The sugar cane I put in the front, that's been there for probably 9-10 years. Some potted mango trees. They're in pots so that I can figure out where to place them in the jungle when I get here. This is a ginger patch. It grows wild all over the forest in this neighborhood. They're not native to here. They were introduced a long time ago, probably with the orchid farmers, and they've just taken over. I harvested these off the side of the road where they grow wild and put some in my yard so I can have ginger, and they've taken over. I'm running my generator for electricity. I did have a generator house. It's overgrown way back there. There was a way to get there. My house is overgrown. I had to hand chop a path. This is an extension to put another area of the house, but I abandoned finishing building it probably 3 years ago. I'll decide whether to finish it if I ever settle back down here in a few years. Here's a potted tree plant. It's called Jaboticaba. I bought it when it was maybe 2 feet high. Now it's probably 6 feet high. They take about 8 years of growth before they start fruiting, and they put fruit out on the stem, the bark. It's a Brazilian fruit called Jaboticaba. It's one of the highest vitamin C fruits in the world. Probably has a bunch of other nice benefits. What is that? Oh, I remember planting that. What is that? Lemongrass. Yeah, it's still alive. I was wondering about that. It used to be closer. I think the closer patch died and a new one grew next to it. This is a giant fern. I'm probably looking at 15 feet to the top. I planted this one here. This one is they grow as tall as trees. They can get 30 feet. Anyway, you can see the tarp I used to try to cover the unfinished areas is rotted away and stuff. So I got a lot of things to do here, but I'm just gonna clean up and make sure rot doesn't set in any deeper, and then be out of here again and maybe take care of this whatever's going on here next year. The generator, I'm running a radio and some lights just for electricity. I have solar panels and a bank of batteries for my electricity, and then when the solar panels aren't doing enough, I have a generator house way back in the yard, and I use that to supercharge my battery bank, because the solar panels are a very small charge rate. They're kind of slow and not much power output, but I can supercharge my battery bank with the generator. That generator back there is a big and good one. I took it to my neighbor's house while I'm gone because I can't afford to buy a new one if they steal it. Several $1,000s. This one, really nice, nifty, $150. I bought it a few years ago, and it starts right up every time I come back. It's good for short-term, small-purpose use while I'm camping out here for 7 days. And literally, it's like camping out. The house isn't completely finished. It's open to the wind, but this is Hawaii, and so the temperature here, the weather here is even keel, year-round, tropical. Really nice. Guava just grows wild here. Sometimes during the height of the guava season, the fruit falls to the ground, and there's so much of it that as it ferments in the early morning when the air is cool and there's not much wind, the alcohol from the fermentation just lingers in the air, and I wake up feeling a little dizzy, and then I can smell the strong smell of fermented fruit, and then I know why. My bamboo, oh, I have one that was really taking off here. If I can get through it. See what I mean? I have a pineapple in there. It's overgrown. I have quite a few. They're still there and they're still alive. The good thing is all my plants, like pineapple, I have macadamia nut trees. I have little tiny saplings of macadamia nut trees, and they're all surviving in a stunted state underneath the overgrowth. And so I kind of like that. They'll have a long-term resilience over their lifetime, even if they are stunted. And when I get back and I can feed them and open up and let them dominate, then things will be okay. Yeah. My bamboo, black bamboo, this thing is getting up to 20 feet now. 20 feet. I waited quite a few years for one to do that. It's thicker than my thumb and really, really long. It's way up there. Yeah, so I'm trying to squeeze in through the overgrowth and see what's still growing. If anything is suffering under the overgrowth, I'll chop it back before I leave and give it an advantage. This one is a Naranjillo. Anyway, I don't pronounce it very well in the Spanish way, but Naranjillo. It's a Peruvian jungle fruit, and this fruit in its native area actually thrives as undergrowth, meaning it grows underneath the canopy of the Peruvian jungle, and it's got huge leaves. I've got big hands. They call me a big man. I've got big hands, and look at this leaf. It's huge and it's fuzzy. It's fuzzy, and when it puts out a fruit, the fruit gets about the size of a small orange and fuzzy, and it's kind of a tomatoey with naranja or orangey taste. It's kind of like a cross between an orange and a tomato, and a very slight orange taste, very slight tomato taste. Barely significantly either or, but something. It's hard to describe. Anyway, tropical fruits. Can I remember offhand what else is growing in here? Different kinds of pineapple. You see this pineapple doing well under. It's got a direct sun coming through, so it's okay. You can see a footpath where I have a neighbor that comes here from time to time and walks through the yard just to, see that things are doing okay. He watches my place for me, and I take my sensitive items like my big generator, my grass cutter, when hold my breath. Don't want to breathe in all the smoke. Trust me, there's a room back there, literally overgrown. This is inside my unfinished house.
Separation from each other. Bob Haskins knew some people who worked.
That's my grass cutter.
A lot of parents whose kids went there. Like a lot of residents yesterday, he was waiting to hear the grim news about who
It's a good one. It's a.
They've been very circumspect about who the victims were. So at the
it's a Honda.
Being such a close-knit community, our expectation
I'll use it
we'll know most of the victims.
to cut the jungle back where it needs. I'm only going to cut back the jungle that I need to walk through, and that maybe my fruit plants need space from. Otherwise, look, growing right up to what would be my doorstep should I finish the house, I like to leave all the jungle to grow. The air here smells really, really good when the volcano smoke isn't overwhelming it. It smells like living in the middle of vegetation and fresh air, cool and tropical.
I worked there for 8 years.
Okay, this is a longer video than I usually would film. But yeah, what is that? 20 feet up, just surrounded by it. Bananas, sugarcane, jungle, all kinds of stuff. The back, the front, behind, overhead. The roof is overgrowing with passion fruit, tropical lilikoi, we call it here, passion fruit, or maracuya in Central America. Anyway, I'll shut down the video before it gets too long.